So, whoever needs to know this, I'm parked up on the back road by where I live, and I had this issue in my car. It was not changing out. As you can tell, I previously was testing it before, and I plugged out the alternator. Alright, this is the alternator plug. Plugged it out. This is the alternator. Now listen carefully as I plug it back in. And this is what it's doing. Put it in gear. When I put it in gear, this is what it's doing. Alright? I'm not moving, but it's saying it's going 20 miles an hour. Alright? That jerk there is most likely the, what you call the engine mount. I need gas, I know. Now it's racing, right? I just drove the car around the block with the alternator plugged out, and it was changing out perfectly. The issue I had before was that it wasn't changing gears. I'm gonna plug out the alternator, right? What's happening from the videos I've been watching, it seems as if, and you know, people talk about YouTube this, YouTube that, you're a YouTube mechanic, you're YouTube construction. Now look at this. Wait a minute. Now I'm changing out the gears. Nothing. Nothing. I was in drive. Nothing. Nothing. Back. Right? Changing the gears. Nothing. Wish you could see at the same time as I'm changing the gears. I'm not fooling. But it seems as if I have a bad alternator diode. I went to two places. One place said they didn't do transmission. The guy says I need a new transmission. I watched the YouTube video, man, and I'm gonna try to link it. But I watched a couple, but the first one I watched, about 2006 Chrysler Pacifica, the guy had the same issue, and he said all he did was change the alternator. You know, mechanics would tell you need a new transmission, blah 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 blah. And the car is running quiet. I couldn't believe it. I plugged out the alternator and the car is quiet as possible. I mean, it could be a battery. I mean, sometimes your battery, because these cars run off of electricity. You know, not electricity, but you know, it's all electronic. So if the right voltage is not going to the right place, the car is getting bad readings, because everything is based off of voltage. A voltage is sent to a certain place to turn off and turn on things and blah 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 blah. I'm not an electrician, but basically it's all voltage, all electricity. So for somebody that needs to know, if your car is doing this, check your alternator or your battery. I'm so happy. I couldn't believe this. The car is quiet. I mean, running smooth. Unbelievable. Plugging back the alternator. Plug it, it's off. Let's zoom in. It's off. Plug it back in. And this little button was like this. It was pushed this way. It has a lock. I used the hammer and the screwdriver to push this part down so it opened. And I'm going to plug it back in. I'm gonna get my alternator changed. My next thing is to figure out how to change it myself. I may have to do that myself. Let's go. YouTube, DIY. Whoever needs to know this.